I keep having the weirdest day of my life 3 days a week. I played God Bless America for John Cena's final match at WWE Monday Night RAW at Madison Square Garden. That is the first time anyone in history has ever said that sentence, and it's the last. And we got to be there for it.
Home sweet home.
It was really cool. We had a wicked 24 hours in New York City. Everybody was up by 3 or 4 a.m. and we walked on down to 30 Rock, Studio 1A, and shot the Today Show. And it was live. We shot a live teaser of one song and then played the actual song, the actual performance. Played it straight down, super live, and we're out of there by 11:30. And on any other day of my career, that would have been the big deal. That would have been the big thing that I did that day, or at least that week. But not so. Not so on Monday, because then we got to go over to Madison Square Garden. Another load in, another sound check, and another 90 seconds in the red. They brought us in the employee entrance of Madison Square Garden, and they go, "Oh, you're the guitar player? All right, well, let's go ahead and get you up in the ring." I said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Get me in the ring, bud." So I got, pulled up with my my pedal board and my guitar, and they put me in the ring. And, I'm kind of getting everything set, and they don't have me on in the house yet, but I can hear that I'm on in my in-ears. So I start, I go, great, I'm going to play through this, by myself a little bit. And I was playing with an ear out in case somebody was trying to talk to me. As I get about halfway through God Bless America, I hear them bringing it up in the house. And it's going to be really hard to explain to you the impact of hearing my guitar by itself, unaccompanied, in Madison Square Garden, getting to play, huge. I'm sending them a big stereo guitar sound, distortion, everything, standing in the middle of the ring, and they have line arrays, speakers going in every direction, filling this place, and I'm sitting in the middle of it. Just, that felt really good. There's no way to match how cool that felt, how cool it felt to be a guitar player right then, because that's, those are the kind of rooms you dream about when you're a kid learning to play guitar. It's the kind of rooms you dream about when you're in your 30s learning how to play guitar. It was rad. So got to play it kind of by myself, and then we played it down. Did it for real. Sound check with her singing, and Logan Paul is over here like to my left. Super weird. There's guys kind of coming in and out of the ring and saying hi to us. I think I met Cody Rhodes. Weird day. They're like, okay, you're all good. We got to get you out of the ring. And so then I just had to go sit in the green room for like 2 hours. Just stewing. Just getting more and more nervous. And, playing the song about 24 more times. My brother got to come. So, sneaking your family in the back door of MSG is pretty fun. Not sneaking. We had tickets and wristbands, but you know what I mean. And when I walked into the arena the second time, of course, it was packed to the rafters with wrestling fans, and they're blasting music, and there's pyro and lasers and smoke, and they put us right in the ring again. I, triple check. Okay, everything's on, everything's working. I'm in tune. I'm ready. They're like 5 minutes, and I got to sit there for like 5 whole minutes. Again, just stewing in the nerves. And I can see my brother, 3 rows back with his phone up, just videoing me just pacing in the ring. And then finally they're like, all right, go, you're on. And lights come up, and I can see Pete Davidson's in front of me. Andrew Schultz is over here. Eric Andre's over here. Apparently Lin-Manuel Miranda was there. I missed him. Front row was stacked. So weird. People that you watch on TV, and they were They were looking the wrong direction. They were looking at me. And we played the song down. It could not have gone better. It went exactly to plan. And then I couldn't believe they didn't, rip us out of the ring immediately. They kind of let the song breathe after we finished. And the whole arena's chanting, USA, US. And it gave me a second to kind of pull my in-ears out and sit back and take it all in for about 10, 15 seconds, which I'm really bad at doing. I'm bad at living in the moment and appreciating things as they're happening to me. But you can see me, take a full, and, done with guitar, and then just looking around at the arena going, man, this is cool. What an opportunity.
Why with foam, God bless America.
So, super grateful, super thankful, completely bizarre day. I told my brother I keep having the weirdest day of my life 3 days a week. So strange. This was just a Monday. This was just an otherwise nondescript Monday in the life of a musician. Very thankful. It was very cool. The arrangement was very cool. There's these guys called Spacewalk, a company that does MDing. It's Dan and Mitch. And they sent me a Pro Tools session of Mitch playing keyboards, playing Rhodes, and he said, hey, I want to hear your interpretation of these changes. I don't want to give you any preconceived ideas of what you're supposed to play on guitar. So I didn't play it on guitar. I played it on Rhodes so that you could make it your own. And I was like, wow, that's actually, one, very cool of him. Two, a lot of creative freedom to kind of make it my thing. The only things that he did write in was the Top Gun quote. So sick. Genius is pick a crazy patriotic movie and quote it in the middle. And then the other thing he wrote in was just sweep arps above that final cadence. There's a flat 6, flat 7, 1, which is B flat C D, and they wrote sweep arps above that. So they wanted the shreds. They asked for it, and I gave it to them. And originally I was sweeping over B flat C. And then just ripping up a D scale to, kind of resolve it. I'm not fantastic at sweeping. The sweep taps were kind of rad, and it was a full commit to B flat major 7, C major 7, D. I thought it was rad. When I played it down with Ashley, it was a little much, and so we changed that. We changed a few other things once we were kind of playing off one another. But the final version that we came up with was ripping. They let me shred MSG. I couldn't believe it. That feels crazy. That big dive bomb in Madison Square Garden. Get out of here. Gonna be hard to top. But it was so fun. I made a video not too long ago for the people over on my Patreon about playing acoustic guitar, more specifically about being an accompanist and how you accompany a singer by yourself. Piano players, that's old news for you, but you have access to way more notes at one time. I have at maximum 6 notes, and I have to make a song happen. Harmonic structure, lead parts, rhythm, got to make all that happen. So this will be old news to my Patreon people, but this is the best example I possibly could have come up with for how important those skills are for accompanying a singer. Just an electric guitar and a vocal in a room as big as MSG. Best example I could hope for, because there's no tracks, no click, there's nobody else playing anything. It's all on you, and you have to make the entire arrangement come to life. It has to have dynamics. John Mayer has this great video of him talking about dynamics on an acoustic guitar.
This is the most that you can get out of your acoustic guitar. You have to work backwards from that. You have to reverse engineer.
That's dynamically, that's your peak. So you have, in order to peak dynamically, you got to start way down here. So I started with just the middle strings, like no low E, no high E. So nothing in the like soprano voice and nothing in the bass, because it needed to grow. So it had to start really low. Yeah. That's just double stops. That's just 2 notes at a time. Really delicate harmonics. You know what I mean? And then it built and built and built, and I had, some walk downs. And it had to build into these last 2 tags. And then by the time you get to the last time, I was trying to think like an orchestra, right? With this low high thing. Thinking about conducting, right? Boom, blah, boom, blah. Like I've got a horn section over here to do this. Now, whether or not with my nervous hands and nervous brain, whether that actually came across in the arena, there's no telling. It's an arena full of wrestling fans. I'm playing in a wrestling ring, so who knows if any of the nuance that I tried to add in practice actually came across in the performance. But that's what I was thinking about. I knew they wanted shred at the end. I had to end way up here, so I gotta start real low, minimal voicings, choose the voicings that I wanted very carefully. I think we came up with a winner. It was really fun. But that's the job, right? I'm accompanying a singer, and I can't drive that home enough. They let me shred at the end. The job is to accompany a singer and be the entire track by yourself.
And guide her through the night with the light from above.
So 10 out of 10. I would do that again in a heartbeat. Stuff like that comes out of nowhere. All of a sudden, someone's like, hey, in 2 weeks, you're going to do the craziest thing you've ever done. And you got to stay ready. You got to stay ready, buddy. If you want the tabs for all that crazy stuff, they're on my Patreon. Go learn it. Ask me questions. I'll explain it to you 10 different ways if that's what it takes. I want this to be usable to you. I want you to see how accessible this kind of thing is, so that when it's time for you to play MSG, you're locked and loaded. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, hit the Patreon. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and grab some merch from Death Metal Cowboy, and know that I appreciate you and love you. See you next time.